Howdy, champs. My name is Mohit and people. Uh, Today I'm going to demonstrate how do you combine or how do you chain animations. Now, the effect that you see right now, it's a fade in, fade out image gallery, right? Three pictures have been used. Let me tell you, no jQuery plugin. Um, this is done purely through CSS3, purely through the animations property. Nothing else. Very simple to create. Uh, in fact, once I show you how easily it can be done, you'll be surprised that how can an image gallery, a fade in, fade out image gallery, be created just using CSS3. I've used three pictures in this example, but you can use many more, but in which case you'll need to alter, you'll have to be a little mathematical, do little calculations. That's all. As long as you have your logic in place, you should be good to go. Okay, let me bring up the HTML CSS document in front of you. This is it. Okay, so as I said, multiple animations and we are chaining them. In line number 21, notice that we are using the animation property comma separated. So basically two animations are running together. The name of the first animation is image swapper. You see images are getting swapped. The first changes to, or image changer, if that sounds more reasonable. And the second one is called the opacity changer. So image changer, opacity changer, but I've just named it image swapper. Swaps the first image with the second with the third, back to the first. Okay. So the image swapping is the animation name image swapper happens over 9 seconds. Steps 3 end. I'm sure you're confused. What is this? This is animation timing function. We'll soon see what exactly this is. And infinite means never ending. So animation iteration count, never ending, infinite. Animation timing function, steps, in 3 steps. Snap, snap, snap. With a jerk. Right? Not smooth, not melting from one image to the other. It's tuck, tuck, tuck that way. And opacity changer is out here. Okay, so basically dual animations are going on. For example, just for a minute, if I were to purposely misspell it and add an extra R out here, so only the first animation, image swapper, img swapper, will run, not the second, because this won't be found. There'll be animation name mismatch. Okay, so let's see if only the first animation were to run. The image swapper, how would it happen? So the first image, second, third, back to the first, but there's no opacity changing, there's no fade in, fade out, etc. That's the first animation running for you. Okay, if I remove the R from here and add it to the image swapper, img swapper, so the first one won't run, but the second one, opacity changer, will run. Purposely doing the spelling mistake. Righty? So you see, the image is not swapping. Right? It's just that only from time to time the opacity is changing. 3 times in 9 seconds. But the image remains the same. So to get the best result, you need to combine or chain the animations. So I'll remove the R from here as well. Okay, let's save it and let's run both the animations properly in their full glory. Okay, now both will fire. Image will change, opacity will diminish and grow, diminish and grow, diminish and grow. So whenever there's an image that requires to be changed, that's the time it fades out and then immediately fades in. But for most of the time it's actually at opacity 1. It's only during the image changing uh, cusp that you see the fade out and then fade in. 3 images, so that cusp will be or that juncture will be at 3 times in 9 seconds after every 3 seconds. So you have to be a little mathematical. Okay, so let's get a better idea how this was actually done. Alrighty. Okay guys, so let's start with the local site folder. This is the HTML document. ASUS1, ASUS2 and ASUS3 are 3 pictures. The width and height being 500 pixels each. Cool. Now let's go to the HTML document. So you see HTML5 doc type, HTML language set to English, metacasset set to UDF-8, very little inline style. See, this was a lot of mathematical calculation, and hence I didn't want to erase, and show it again. Just left it as it is. Nothing in the body of the document. So as far as opening closing style tags are concerned, just one rule, and as far as the body of the document is concerned, nothing inside. Okay, so we're gonna slowly build our project. Okay, now we bring in a division with a class of outer, close it. Okay, that's it. Next we create yet another division inside the outer div, and we give it the class inner. So the classes are used to identify a division or target our divisions. Okay, very cool. Now I push in 3 images using the IMG src alt, src and alt attributes with the image tag. First image is ASUS1 JPG, ASUS2 JPG and ASUS3 JPGs, all line left to right. Images are inline elements and they will align themselves left to right, rubbing shoulders. Okay, make sure that you don't keep them top bottom but left right the way I've actually kept. If at this point I were to save the document and if I were to bring the browser up, let's see what happens. So you can actually see those 3 images rubbing shoulders, isn't it? Cool. Next guys, I want to create rules for the outer division. The first thing that I'm doing is I'm setting the width and height of the outer division to be the size of each picture. 3 pictures, or both are width, all 3 of them are actually 500 in width and 500 in height, and that's the same dimension I'm giving the outer division. I'm also setting the overflow to be a hidden. Now what will happen when you give the overflow to be a hidden? Since the inner is inside the outer, anything which overflows the outer won't be seen. If at this point I were to save and if I were to refresh, let's see what happens. You can see only one picture is actually visible because the other 2 have been chopped off, because we have set the overflow to be a hidden. I can also say overflow X instead of saying overflow, because that will be overflow along the horizontal axis, not the vertical axis, and it's one and the same thing. It will give you the same effect. Position relative. I'm gonna have absolute children inside relative parent. We'll soon see why I'm actually doing this. Next, I'm setting the margin top bottom 50 left right auto. That should center up the division. At this point, let's take a browser preview. So as you can see, 50 pixels shift from the top and left right. Auto means you're gonna center it up horizontally. Okay, next rule for the inner. Inner is where you have the 3 pictures. Okay, a width of 1500. So basically, to accommodate all the 3 pictures, a width of 3 times more, a height of 500. Position absolute. As I said, I want the children to be absolute inside the wrapper, the parent, which is outer, which is relative. See, once you use the position absolute, you can then use left, right, top and bottom properties. Let's see how this actually affects the browser preview. Nothing should happen at this point, obviously. Next, I'm actually bringing in or chaining in two animations together. I'm calling them image swapper, which should go on for 9 seconds in 3 steps. So it does not see the steps. Animation timing function property could either have been 3 comma start also, in which case it immediately starts off, kicks off immediately as soon as the animation starts. But when you say 3 end, it ends with the step, not starts with the step. It allows you to gaze at the first picture, and after some time it will actually start. But if you say 3 start, it actually will kick off to the second image immediately and won't allow you to see the first image at all. And why steps? See, whenever you are using steps, instead of using linear means at the constant rate, or instead of saying ease in, ease out, ease is actually the default, or ease dash in, dash out, or ease dash in, or ease dash out. See, all these are animation timing functions, and they tell you how the animation should progress with time. Sometimes the animation will be slow towards the end, that's ease dash out. Sometimes it'll be ease dash in, just quick towards the beginning. Ease dash in dash out will be slow, fast, slow. Okay. Ease dash in should be quick. Should be quick towards the end, if I'm not wrong. Okay. So basically, this is the animation timing function. So basically, how the animation progresses through time. Whether it goes at a constant rate, that's linear, or whether the rate changes every now and then. So that could be cubic Bezier, steps, through steps. Steps is way different from others because here everything happens in a snap, with a jerk. So one picture changes to the other with a jerk, so on and so forth. So it's not happening at a constant rate. It's happening, after 3 seconds, snap. After 3 seconds, snap and change. After 3 seconds, snap and change. Right? That way. I'm saying I would want 3 steps to happen, and the animation end with the step, not start with the step. If it starts with the step, you'll not be able to see the first picture. Immediately jump onto the second picture. So you'll miss the first picture. So it should end with the animation should end with the step, not start with the step. Infinite means animation iteration count, never ending, going on forever and ever and ever. The other animation is comma separated, going on for the same time duration, 9 seconds, and again it's infinite as well. If at this point I were to change, and take a browser preview, let's see what happens. Okay, I can't see the image change yet, but I can see the opacity changing every now and then. At around 30-33% I'm changing the opacity. That's the way opacity has been written. But why is the image not changing? Because although I have named the animation, I have not defined it. Or basically I have defined the animation, I have not executed it. So let's execute that. Okay. So how do you do that? Using the @keyframes rule. Then you put the name of the animation, img swapper, and then this is how you're going to execute. So you're saying 2 left minus 1500. So you're actually pushing the inner in 3 steps towards the left. So first will be minus 500, then minus 1000, and minus 1500 towards the left. So it will protrude out from the left, pushing it out from the left edge. That's the theory. First, since it's happening in 3 steps, the first step would be to push it out. First step would be to just do nothing but look at the first image. The second step, the first step would be to show the first image and do nothing, and then after 3 seconds, shift by minus 500 outside. So protrude outside from the left edge. Then by 1000, then by 1500. So that way, since it's getting pushed from the left edge, you can actually see, picture 1, picture 2, picture 3, that way. So 500, 1000, 1500, 3 steps. Right. So let's see the result of this getting pushed out. Let's see that. Okay, now it'll get pushed out from the left, which although you can't see, since it's a step, so it's happened in a snap. There'll be no melting. It's just snap, snap, snap. So it's getting pushed out from the left, 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 till the third image actually remains, and then it resets back to the first image. So it's a never ending thing. Okay, so two animations running together. Now let's talk a little bit about the opacity. I had to do a little bit of mathematical calculation. So initially you see a fade in, okay, then it remains at opacity 1 for a long time, then it fades out, then it fades in. So the fading in and fading out happens with a little bit of a logic. See, every time, see, three images being swapped in 9 seconds. Am I right? Three images being see, I'll show you. Three images are getting swapped in 9 seconds. So the first image should change around 33%, the second around 66%, and the third around 99%. Am I right? 369. That's the reason, you see, I'm closing in these three values out here. I'm very close to these three values. So I just made a little bit of a calculation, and basically I'm fading in and fading out at the right time. So whenever I feel the image is about to change the cusp, I'm fading out, then fading in. I'm fading out, then fading in. And so a little bit of a calculation, guys. And that's how it actually works. So that's the way the two animations actually fire together. So that's how you change. You just comma separate them like so. You just comma separate them. That's how you chain it. Nice. Okay. Now, let's save it. Let's see the final product, and I'll show you something else. So we have the image swapper, and we have the fade in, fade out going, all together. If the animation is a little choppy from time to time, it's because of the CPU, which is at times not handling the task properly. Okay, but without the the screen recording that's going on, the tutorial that's being recorded, if that was not on, then the animation would be super smooth. Sometimes you see it's a little jerky. Let's refresh again. So fade in again, fade out, fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out, fade in. Okay, fine, all good. So as I said, this is animation timing function steps. I can have other values for it. That may not be the right thing to do for this project, but let's just show you. One of the ways is actually linear. You'll at least know what linear actually means. Let's do a refresh. See? Going at the same speed. Got the point? As I said, it's not the perfect thing to do for this project, but at least you'll know. This is the default, so even if you don't mention ease, it's actually ease. Some funny stuff. Okay, so you can actually see it going out from the left by 1500 px, and you have other values like ease dash in dash out. Okay, let's see that. Very funny. And so on and so forth. So you have several values. You even have cubic bees here, which is like creating your own custom animations which progress through the time the way you want. It's your own custom created graph curve. time animation progression graph or curve, cubic dash Bezier with 4 values. Little intricate, and I'm not covering it in this tutorial. Okay, so I'm going back to steps, and let's see the final product. So that's because steps is suited for the task that I'm actually doing. So fade in, fade out, image swapping, that's how you actually chain. So guys, I hope you found this information useful. You have a good day. Please subscribe, please share the video, let others also, you know, get the benefit. And yeah,